The night was quiet in the small human village that rested near the edge of the forest. Most people avoided that place after dark. They said strange things moved between the trees, shadows that did not belong to any animal known on Earth. But Alex, a 16-year-old boy, never listened to warnings. He loved adventure more than safety. That night, he carried a small flashlight and an old backpack. He told himself he would only go a little way into the woods just to see the stars away from the village lights. But when he reached the tall black trees, something in the air felt wrong. The silence was too heavy, as if even the insects were hiding. Alex walked deeper, his shoes crunching dry leaves. He tried to stay brave, but every sound made him turn his head. A broken branch, a soft whisper of wind. Still, he pushed on. He wanted to prove to himself that the stories about this forest were only fear and lies. Then he saw it. A flash of light tore across the sky, bright blue and silver like a falling star. But this was no star. It curved, slowed, and crashed somewhere deeper in the woods with a loud, burning roar. The ground shook under Alex's feet. His heart raced. Without thinking, he ran toward the crash. His breath came fast. His mind screamed at him to stop, but his legs carried him forward. The smell of smoke filled the air. He followed the trail of broken branches until he saw something glowing between the trees. There, lying on the ground, was a strange figure. At first, Alex thought it was a girl about his age, but her skin was pale blue and her hair shimmered like silver threads. She wore armor that looked alive, glowing with faint symbols. Her chest rose and fell. She was alive but weak. Alex froze. His first thought was to run back, but then a sound made his blood turn cold. From the darkness behind her, something moved, something tall and heavy, with claws scraping against the bark of trees. Two red eyes opened in the dark. The creature stepped out, and Alex wished the stories were lies. It was the shadow predator. Its body was like smoke and flesh together, always shifting, hard to see clearly. Its face was stretched with long teeth shining wet in the moonlight. The forest seemed to bend away from it, as if even nature feared this monster. The alien girl tried to crawl away, but her body was weak. She looked at Alex with desperate eyes, eyes that silently begged for help. Alex's heart pounded. He was just a boy. He had no weapon, no strength against such a beast. But running away meant leaving her to die. The shadow predator growled, a sound that rattled through Alex's bones. It stepped closer to the girl. Without thinking, Alex picked up a fallen branch and shouted, waving it to draw the monster's attention. His voice cracked, but it was enough. The predator turned its head slowly, focusing on him. Its red eyes burned like fire. Alex wanted to run, but his legs locked in place. He held the branch tighter, his hands shaking. "Hey!" he shouted again, though his throat was dry. "Stay away from her!" The creature moved with terrifying speed. It leapt forward, shadows wrapping around its body. Alex swung the branch, but it snapped like paper against the predator's chest. The monster's claw struck, knocking him to the ground. Pain shot through his side. He tried to crawl, but the predator pinned him down. Its mouth opened wide, rows of teeth ready to end him. Alex screamed, struggling under its weight. Then sudden agony. The predator's fangs sank into his arm. A burning fire spread through his veins, glowing under his skin. He had never felt pain like this before. The alien girl, her voice weak but filled with power, raised her hand. A blast of blue light shot from her palm and hit the predator. The beast roared, shadows tearing apart around its body. It staggered back, releasing Alex, and then vanished into the darkness as if the night had swallowed it whole. Alex gasped, clutching his arm. The wound pulsed with strange light, lines of black and silver crawling up toward his shoulder. His body trembled, his vision blurred. He felt both sick and strong at the same time, as if something alive was moving inside him. The alien girl crawled toward him, her silver hair falling over her face. She placed a hand on his shoulder, her touch cool and calming. You shouldn't have done that," she whispered, her voice trembling. "The shadow predator. It marked you. No human survives its bite." Alex tried to speak, but only a broken breath left his lips. His head spun, his arm burned, and his world went dark. The last thing he saw before losing consciousness was the alien girl's glowing eyes watching him, filled with both fear and sorrow. The forest was silent again. But something had changed forever. The human boy had faced the shadow predator, and its bite would not let him remain just human. The forest was still. Smoke curled in the air where the strange crash had happened. The silence felt wrong, heavy, as if the trees themselves were holding their breath. Alex lay on the ground, his arm burning with pain. The bite mark glowed faintly, dark lines spreading under his skin like veins of fire. His chest rose and fell in short gasps. Every breath felt heavier than the last. The alien girl leaned over him. Her silver hair glimmered in the faint moonlight, and her pale blue hands trembled as she pressed them against his wound. Her voice was soft but urgent. "You're not safe. The shadow predator never spares its prey. If it bites you, it changes you. It marks you as its own." Alex barely understood her words. The fire in his veins drowned out everything else. His vision blurred, and shadows seemed to move on their own, curling around the trees. He blinked hard, but the shapes did not disappear. They whispered. He tried to sit up. "What's happening to me?" His voice cracked with fear. The girl's eyes softened, but she did not smile. The poison of the predator is not like poison. It is alive. It crawls into your blood, into your mind. It wants to turn you into something else. Alex's stomach twisted. His hands shook as he stared at the black veins spreading toward his shoulder. I don't want this." The girl grabbed his face gently, forcing his eyes to meet hers. "Listen to me. You are still human for now. You can fight it. But if you lose, the shadows will own you, and then you will become the predator's brother." Her words chilled him more than the pain. He thought of his family back in the village, his friends, the normal life he had just a few hours ago. All of it now seemed so far away, like a dream fading into darkness. Suddenly, a branch snapped in the distance. Both of them froze. The girl's expression turned sharp. "It's not gone. It's watching us." Alex turned his head. Between the trees, two red eyes glowed faintly. The predator was there, hidden in the dark, waiting. Fear clawed at his chest. "Why me? Why not just kill me?" The girl whispered almost to herself. "Because you stepped in. You chose to fight it. The predator hunts the strong. It wants to test you, break you, and then claim you." Alex felt his heartbeat thundering in his ears. He tried to stand, but his legs wobbled beneath him. The girl caught him, surprising him with her strength despite her injured body. "We can't stay here," she said firmly. "It will return soon. You must move." He nodded weakly, though his body screamed in pain. Step by step, they stumbled through the forest together. The girl supported him with one arm, the other clutching her own wound. As they moved, Alex noticed something strange. His senses were sharper. He could hear the crunch of distant leaves, the faint hiss of the wind. He could see more clearly in the dark than ever before. It frightened him, yet part of him felt powerful. The girl noticed too. Her eyes narrowed. "It begins already." "The change." Alex shook his head quickly. "No, I'm still me. I'm still human." She did not argue, but her silence said more than words. Minutes passed like hours. They reached a clearing where moonlight touched the ground. For a moment it felt safe. But then Alex's arm flared again, the black veins spreading faster. He collapsed, clutching it with both hands. "Make it stop," he cried out. The girl knelt beside him. She placed her glowing hand over the bite and whispered words in a language Alex didn't understand. A soft blue light flowed into his arm. The pain eased slightly, but the darkness beneath his skin only quieted. It did not leave. Her face grew pale with exhaustion. "I can slow it down, but I cannot cure it. Only time will tell if you master it, or if it masters you." Alex groaned, sweat dripping down his forehead. "I didn't ask for this. I just wanted to help." The girl looked at him, her silver eyes filled with something between sadness and respect. "That is why it chose you." Alex froze at her words. "It? You mean the predator? You think it chose me?" She nodded slowly. "The shadow predator is not a simple beast. It was made by dark hands born to hunt my people. It does not bite without purpose. If it marked you, then you are part of something greater now. Something dangerous." Alex's heart sank. He wanted to argue, but deep inside he knew she was right. He could feel the darkness inside him moving, alive and hungry. Before he could speak again, the sound of a low growl echoed around the clearing. The predator's red eyes glowed once more from the tree line. It had followed them, silent and patient. The girl stood, raising her hand to shield Alex. "Stay behind me." But Alex could not. The shadows inside him surged, and his body moved on its own. His fingers curled like claws. His vision sharpened until he could see every detail of the predator's body. For one terrifying moment, he felt the same hunger as the beast. The predator stepped forward, and the night seemed to bend with it. Alex's breathing grew heavy, his body caught between fear and power. He didn't know if he was about to fight or become the monster himself. The encounter was not over. The bite was only the beginning. The clearing was quiet again. The shadow predator had vanished into the trees, but its presence still lingered, heavy in the air. Alex sat against a rock, clutching his glowing arm. The pain had dulled for now, but the strange mark still pulsed beneath his skin like living veins of fire. The alien girl watched him closely. Her silver eyes studied every twitch of his muscles, every flicker of his breath. She looked both relieved and worried at the same time. "You should not be alive," she whispered, more to herself than to him. "No human survives a predator's bite." Alex looked up at her, his voice hoarse. "Then why am I still here?" The girl lowered her gaze. For a long moment she said nothing. Then she sat down across from him, folding her legs like a tired warrior. "Because you are not ordinary." Alex gave a weak laugh. "I'm just a boy. I was supposed to be home hours ago. Ordinary is all I am." She shook her head slowly. "You face the predator when even my kind fear it. That choice has already made you different. But now the bite, it is changing you. If you lose yourself, you will become something worse than the predator itself." Her words struck him harder than the pain in his arm. "So what? You're saying I'm doomed either way?" The girl hesitated, then spoke softly. "Not doomed. Not yet." Silence hung between them. The moonlight touched her silver hair, making it shine like water. For the first time, Alex noticed how fragile she looked. Beneath the glowing armor and strange symbols, she was just a girl, exhausted, wounded, far from home. Finally, Alex broke the silence. "You never told me your name." She looked at him for a moment before answering. "Lyra, Lyra," he repeated quietly, as if the sound of it gave him strength. "Why are you here? Why did that thing chase you?" Her eyes darkened. She looked away, staring at the line of trees where the predator had disappeared. "Because I carry something my enemies want, and because my people are at war." Alex frowned. "War with monsters like that?" Lyra nodded. "The shadow predator was made to hunt us. Long ago, a rival race forged them in the void between stars. They are not beasts of nature. They are weapons. Once released, they stalk their prey until the prey no longer breathes." Alex shivered. "And it followed you here? To Earth?" "Yes," her voice grew heavy. "But you stepped into its hunt. You should not have. Now it has marked you as well." Alex looked at his arm again. The black lines had crawled further up toward his chest. He could almost feel them breathing. "So I'm what? Some kind of half-monster now?" Lyra's expression softened. "No, you are still human, but the darkness inside you will test you. If you can fight it, you might become stronger than the predator itself. If you fail, you will become its shadow." The words left Alex speechless. He thought of his life back home, his small room, his books, the simple peace of his days. All of it felt so far away now. He wasn't just a boy anymore. He was caught in something far bigger. Finally he asked, "Why tell me this? Why not just leave me to figure it out myself?" Lyra's eyes glistened in the moonlight. "Because you saved me. You risked everything for someone you did not know. My people believe in debts of honor. Now I owe you the truth, and I will not let you face this alone." Her voice carried a weight that made Alex believe her. But before he could respond, the ground beneath them trembled faintly, as if something heavy had moved in the distance. Alex's head snapped toward the trees. "It's coming back." Lyra shook her head. "Not yet. That sound is something else. The predator does not walk, it stalks." Alex swallowed hard. "Then what is it?" She stood slowly, her body tense. "More danger. Always more." For a moment, Alex almost laughed. Great, just what I needed. But then, as he tried to push himself to his feet, a sharp pain stabbed through his chest. His body seized and he fell back down. His vision blurred again, shadows curling at the edges of his sight. He could hear whispers, faint but clear. "Join us. Become more." His breath quickened. "Lyra, it's inside me. Talking to me." She dropped to her knees beside him, her voice urgent. "Fight it. Don't let it in. The predator's venom does not just change flesh. It eats the mind." Alex squeezed his eyes shut, trying to block out the whispers. But the voices grew louder, filling his head like a storm. He saw flashes, teeth, claws, endless night. He saw himself standing over his village, not as a boy, but as a monster. "No," he shouted, shaking violently. "That's not me." Lyra held his shoulders firmly. "Then prove it. Hold on to yourself. Remember who you are. Remember why you fought in the first place." Her words pierced the storm of whispers. Slowly, painfully, Alex forced his breathing to steady. The darkness receded a little, though it did not leave. Exhausted, he opened his eyes. I'm still me. For now. Lyra nodded, though her face was grim. For now. But the longer this goes on, the harder it will be. You must be prepared. Alex lay back, staring at the sky. He no longer felt like the boy who entered the forest hours ago. He was something in between, a boy marked by shadow. A boy carrying a secret even he barely understood. And sitting beside him, Lyra carried secrets of her own, secrets of war, of monsters, of worlds far beyond Earth. For the first time, Alex realized his life would never return to normal. The shadow predator's bite had tied his fate to hers, and together, they had stepped into a story neither of them could escape. The forest around them grew silent again, but Alex knew it was only the silence before the storm. The night passed slowly. The forest around them was still, but Alex did not sleep. His body ached, his skin burned, and his mind felt caught between two worlds. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the shadow predator's face. Every time he breathed, he felt the darkness inside him stir, like a wild animal trapped beneath his skin. Lyra stayed awake too. She sat near him, her silver eyes watching the trees, her hand resting lightly on a strange crystal blade at her side. She looked calm, but Alex noticed the tightness in her jaw. She was ready for danger, even in exhaustion. When the first light of dawn touched the treetops, Alex tried to sit up. His body felt heavier than before, but there was something else too. His ears picked up the rustle of leaves far away. His eyes caught the movement of birds high in the branches, clear and sharp as if they were only a few steps away. He frowned. I can see and hear more. It's like everything is louder, brighter. Lyra turned toward him. The change is beginning. Her voice was calm, but Alex caught the sadness in it. He looked down at his arm. The bite mark had spread, black veins curling up toward his shoulder. But the strange part was the glow. At times the veins shimmered with faint silver light fighting against the darkness. Is this normal? He asked, though the answer already scared him. No, Lyra said quietly. The predator's bite should turn you fully to shadow within hours. But your body resists. Something inside you fights back. Alex gave a shaky laugh. So I'm a half-monster experiment now? Lyra didn't laugh. She studied him seriously. No, you are something new. Not my kind. Not the predator's kind. Something in between. Her words chilled him. He touched the glowing veins on his arm. They pulsed under his skin, alive. And if I lose control? Lyra's eyes hardened. Then I will end you before you hurt anyone else. Alex froze at the coldness in her tone. But when he looked at her face, he saw no hatred there, only duty. She was serious. If he turned into a monster, she would not hesitate. He nodded slowly, even though fear twisted in his chest. Then I'll fight it. I won't let it win. For a moment, silence hung between them. Then Lyra spoke again, softer this time. Courage is not enough. You must learn control. You must learn to master the shadow before it masters you. Alex frowned. And how am I supposed to do that? Lyra stood, brushing dirt from her armor. By training. My people teach warriors to resist the predator's influence. It will not be easy, but if you wish to live, you must try. Alex struggled to his feet. His legs felt unsteady, but strength flowed through them too, strange and sharp. He clenched his fists, testing the way his body moved. For a moment, he felt powerful. Then just as quickly, his fingers twisted into sharp claws. He gasped and stumbled back. The claws retreated, fading into normal skin again. His breath came fast, his heart pounding. Lyra watched him carefully. The shadow is already inside you. It will try to break free. You must fight it every moment. The day passed in fragments of training. Lyra showed him how to steady his breathing, how to focus his mind on his humanity. Think of who you are, she told him. Think of what matters to you. The shadow cannot steal what you protect, Alex tried. He thought of his village, of the quiet mornings when his mother called him for breakfast, of his friends laughing in the field. He held on to those memories like anchors. But the whispers in his mind did not stop. They called to him, tempting him with power. You are stronger with us. You could destroy anything. You don't need her. You don't need anyone. He shook his head violently. Shut up. Lyra placed a hand on his shoulder. Don't fight with anger. Anger feeds the shadow. You must fight with calm. It sounded impossible. But slowly, painfully, Alex managed to quiet the voices for a moment. Each time he did, the silver glow in his veins grew brighter, pushing back against the black lines. Still, the darkness never left completely. It lingered, patient, waiting for him to slip. As the sun lowered, Alex collapsed onto the ground, exhausted. Sweat covered his face, but there was a faint smile on his lips. I think I'm getting it. Lyra knelt beside him. Perhaps. But remember, this was only the first day. The predator will return, and when it does, it will not test your strength, it will test your soul. Her words settled heavy in his chest. That night, as the forest grew dark again, Alex stared at the stars. His body still burned, but he felt different, stronger, sharper, but also dangerous. He wondered if he was still truly human, or if the bite had already stolen that from him. Beside him, Lyra rested with her blade at her side. She had promised to help him, but she had also promised to kill him if he lost control. That thought haunted him, and somewhere in the forest, red eyes glowed in the shadows. The predator was still watching, still waiting. Alex closed his eyes, whispering to himself, I won't give in. I can't. But deep inside, he knew the battle had only just begun. By the third night, Alex and Lyra finally left the forest. His body still carried the mark of the predator, but he had not lost himself. Every day he grew stronger, though the whispers of the shadow never stopped. Lyra led him toward the mountains beyond the valley. There, hidden inside stone and mist, her people had built a secret refuge. From the outside, it looked like nothing more than a wall of jagged cliffs. But when she touched a glowing mark on the rock, the stone shifted, opening into a great tunnel. Alex's eyes widened. This is inside the mountain? Yes, Lyra said quietly. The last safe place for my kind. They walked through a long passage lit by crystals. Soon the tunnel opened into a vast chamber, glowing with alien light. Dozens of Lyra's people turned their heads as they entered. They had the same pale blue skin, the same silver eyes, but their armor gleamed with living patterns of light. The moment their gazes fell on Alex, the air changed. Whispers spread through the chamber. Some pointed at his glowing veins. Others stepped back, fear flashing in their eyes. He is bitten. Why is he alive? Kill him before it spreads! Alex froze under their stares. He felt like a stranger in another world. His hand clenched around his arm, hiding the mark. Two guards stepped forward, their blades raised. Why bring a marked one here, Lyra? Do you want to doom us all? Lyra stood tall, her voice firm. He saved me. Without him, I would be dead. The predator chose him, but he has not fallen. He resists. The guards did not lower their weapons. One of them hissed, No one resists forever. Before they could argue further, a deep voice echoed from the far end of the chamber. Enough. The crowd fell silent. From the shadows of a high throne, a tall figure stepped forward. His armor glowed brighter than all the others, carved with symbols of power. His silver eyes were sharp and commanding, his presence heavy like the weight of the mountain itself. Lyra bowed her head. My king, Alex's breath caught. This was the ruler of her people, the alien king. The king's gaze fell on Alex, cold and piercing. He studied him for a long moment, and Alex felt as if those eyes could see straight into his soul. You are human, the king said at last, his voice calm but heavy. And yet you carry the predator's mark. Alex tried to speak, but his throat was dry. I didn't ask for this. I was just trying to help. The king's face did not change. And now you are a danger to both our kinds. Murmurs spread through the chamber again. Some called for Alex's death, others for banishment. Lyra stepped forward quickly. My king, please. He is different. He has resisted longer than any creature ever has. If we kill him, we lose the chance to understand why. The king's gaze shifted to her. Do you trust him? Yes, Lyra said without hesitation. He is brave, he is human. For a moment, silence filled the hall. Then the king walked closer, his footsteps echoing. He stood before Alex, towering over him. Show me your arm. Alex hesitated, then slowly rolled up his sleeve. The black veins crawled across his skin, but the faint silver glow pulsed through them, fighting the darkness. The king studied it carefully. Strange. The shadow spreads, but it does not consume. You are not lost, but you are not whole either. You are something new? Alex swallowed hard. Is that bad? The king's voice grew cold. It is dangerous. If you lose control, you could destroy us all. The guards tensed, ready to strike at a single order. Alex's heart pounded. He wanted to protest, to shout that he wasn't the enemy. But before he could, the king raised his hand, silencing the hall. "I will decide his fate," the king said. The chamber grew still. The king looked at Alex, his eyes sharp as blades. "You will not be executed yet, but your life is no longer yours. If you are truly different, you must prove it. You must face the predator again and kill it." Gasps spread through the crowd. Even Lyra looked shocked. "My king, he is not ready. He has no choice," the king cut her off. "If he cannot defeat the predator, then he is nothing but its servant. If he succeeds, then perhaps he is worth sparing." Alex's stomach twisted. Fight the predator alone? He barely survived the first encounter. His hands shook, but he forced himself to meet the king's gaze. "And if I refuse?" Alex asked quietly. The king's eyes narrowed. "Then you die now." The guards stepped closer, blades raised once again. The choice was clear. Alex's heart raced, but something inside him pushed back against the fear. He clenched his fists. "Fine, I'll do it. I'll fight your monster, but not because you ordered me. Because I won't let it control me." The king studied him for a long moment, then nodded slowly. "So be it." The chamber erupted in whispers again. Some called Alex a fool. Others looked at him with fear, maybe even respect. Lyra touched his shoulder lightly, her voice low. "This trial will kill you." Alex gave a faint smile, though his stomach churned with terror. "Or it'll prove I'm still human." The king turned back to his throne. His voice boomed across the hall. "Prepare the hunt. Tomorrow, the marked boy faces the shadow predator." The decision was made. Alex's fate was sealed. And somewhere deep in the shadows of the forest, the predator waited, its red eyes burning, as if it already knew the challenge was coming. The mountain fortress buzzed with whispers the next morning. Word had spread quickly. The human boy who carried the predator's bite would face the monster itself. Some called him cursed, others called him brave, but most expected him to die before nightfall. Alex stood in a stone courtyard lit by glowing crystals. His body felt heavy with dread, but also strangely alive. The mark on his arm pulsed with silver and black veins, as if it too knew what was coming. Lyra fastened a small blade at his side, shaped from the same crystal her people used as light. The weapon hummed faintly, alive with energy. Alex frowned at it. "Do you really think this will help against that thing?" Lyra met his eyes, serious but calm. "The predator was made from shadow. This blade was made from light. It will not stop it easily, but it may give you a chance." He swallowed hard. "A chance? That's all I get?" She nodded. "That is all anyone ever gets." Before he could respond, the heavy footsteps of armored guards echoed around them. The alien king approached, his presence commanding silence. He studied Alex for a long moment before speaking. "The hunt begins now," the king declared. His voice carried through the courtyard. "This boy is marked by the shadow. If he can slay the predator, he may live. If not, the darkness will consume him and he will die as prey." The crowd of alien warriors murmured, their silver eyes cold and watchful. Alex felt their stares pressing against him like weight. The king raised a hand. A gate opened at the far end of the courtyard, revealing a path that led back into the dark forest. "Go," the king commanded. "The predator waits. Prove your worth, or be ended." Alex took a deep breath. His legs felt weak, but he forced them forward. Lyra walked beside him until the gate. There she stopped. "You won't be alone," she said softly. "I'll follow from the shadows. But the fight is yours." Alex nodded, though fear gripped his chest. "If I lose myself out there," her hand brushed his shoulder, "then I'll do what must be done." Her words were both comfort and threat. Alex gave a tight smile, then stepped into the forest. The trees swallowed him quickly, their tall shapes casting long shadows. The air felt colder here, heavier. The whispers in his mind grew louder with every step. "We are waiting." "We are you." Alex clenched his fists, focusing on his breath. He tried to remember Lyra's lessons. Stay calm, hold on to who you are. But the forest seemed alive with eyes. Every sound, every rustle of leaves made his heart race. Hours passed. The sun dipped lower, painting the forest in red light. The silence was unbearable. Alex knew the predator was near. It was always near. Finally, he heard it. The faint scrape of claws against bark. His body froze. Slowly, he turned his head. Two red eyes glowed in the darkness between the trees. The predator stepped forward, larger than he remembered, its shadowy body shifting like smoke and flesh mixed together. Its teeth glistened, wet with hunger. Alex gripped the crystal blade. His hand shook, but he did not run. "Come on, then," he whispered, more to himself than to the monster. The predator moved with terrifying speed. One moment it was in the shadows, the next it lunged, claws slashing. Alex rolled aside, the strike ripping through the ground where he had stood. His heart pounded. He slashed with the blade, and to his surprise, the weapon cut through the shadow. The predator roared in pain, its body flickering, but it did not fall back. It charged again, faster. Alex barely blocked with the blade. The impact threw him to the ground. His chest burned, his arm flared with pain, the black veins spreading further. The whispers in his head screamed, "Stop fighting, join us. Tear it apart. Feel the power." For a moment, Alex almost gave in. He felt his claws forming again, his vision sharpening until the predator's movement slowed in his eyes. The power was intoxicating. With it, he could kill the beast. With it, he could survive. But then he remembered Lyra's voice. "If you lose yourself, the shadow wins." Gritting his teeth, he fought to control the darkness. His claws retracted. He forced himself to fight as a human, not as a monster. The predator circled him, growling low. Alex steadied his breath, raising the blade again. "I'm not yours, not now. Not ever." The fight raged on. Claws slashed, light clashed against shadow. Alex dodged, rolled, and struck whenever he could. Every hit burned the predator, but every miss nearly killed him. His body bled, his muscles screamed, but he refused to fall. At last he saw an opening. The predator lunged wide, its chest exposed. Alex roared with all his strength and drove the crystal blade deep into its heart. A blinding light exploded. The predator shrieked, its body unraveling into smoke and shadow. Its red eyes flickered, then vanished. In moments, the monster was gone, leaving only silence. Alex collapsed to his knees, gasping for air. His arm burned worse than ever, but the silver glow pulsed stronger too, holding back the black veins. He was alive. From the tree line, Lyra stepped out. Her eyes widened as she looked at him. "You did it," she whispered. Alex gave a weak laugh. "Barely." She helped him to his feet. "You killed the predator. No human has ever done this. The king cannot deny your strength now." Alex nodded, though his body trembled. "Then let's go show him." But deep inside he knew the battle was not over. The predator was dead, but the shadow inside him still lived. And somewhere beyond the stars, darker things were waiting. The mountain fortress erupted with noise when Alex and Lyra returned. Word of the shadow predator's death spread faster than fire. The marked boy had done the impossible. Alien warriors filled the great chamber, their silver eyes fixed on him. Some looked at him with awe, others with suspicion, but no one could deny what he had achieved. Alex walked with unsteady steps, the crystal blade still stained with dark smoke. His body was broken, but his spirit was burning. The alien king rose from his throne. His voice carried through the hall like thunder. "The predator is slain. This human boy has done what even my warriors feared to do. And yet," his eyes narrowed, sharp and heavy, "the shadow still lives inside him," the crowd murmured. Alex's veins glowed faintly, black and silver pulsing under his skin like fire and ice locked in war. He could feel the whispers even now. "Take it, use it, become more." Lyra stood at his side, her voice firm. He fought the shadow. He resisted when it tempted him. "That is proof enough." The king stepped down, his tall figure casting a shadow across Alex. "Proof or delay? The predator's venom never sleeps. It waits. One day he may break. And if he breaks, he will not be boy or man. He will be a monster worse than the predator itself." The hall fell silent. Alex's chest tightened. He had no answer to that because deep inside he knew the king spoke truth. The king's gaze pierced him. "So, human boy, the choice is yours. Do you surrender to the shadow and take its strength? Or do you hold to your humanity even if it leaves you weak? Decide now." Alex froze. The words echoed in his mind. He looked at his hands, trembling, half human, half shadow. One path offered power, survival, maybe even greatness. The other offered struggle, pain, and fear of falling again. The whispers swelled in his skull. "Take us. You could protect them all. You could crush every enemy. You could be king, not servant." He clenched his teeth. The darkness inside him wanted control. But he remembered the forest, the predator's eyes, the taste of losing himself, and he remembered Lyra's voice in that storm of whispers. "Remember who you are." His heart pounded. He thought of his village, his mother's face, the friends he might never see again. He thought of the boy he had been before all this. Ordinary, weak human, and he realized he wanted that boy to live on, even if it meant carrying the shadow as a burden, not as a crown. Slowly, Alex raised his head. His voice was steady, though his body trembled. I choose to stay human. I don't care if I'm weaker. I don't care if it makes my life harder. I'm not giving up who I am. The hall went silent. Even the whispers in his mind grew still, as if shocked. The king studied him for a long moment. Then for the first time, his stern face softened, just slightly. A bold choice. Alex gripped his arm where the silver light pulsed stronger now. No, it's the only choice. Suddenly, pain ripped through his body. The shadow surged, furious at his refusal. His veins burned, his vision blurred, his heart thundered. He collapsed to his knees, gasping. Lyra dropped beside him, shouting, "Fight it! Don't let it win!" The voices screamed in his head louder than ever. "Fool, you could rule. You could destroy them all. Take us or die!" Alex clenched his fists, pressing them into the stone floor. "I'd rather die than be you." The silver glow in his veins exploded outward, flooding his body. The black lines writhed, then burned away under the light. Alex screamed, the sound echoing through the hall. The shadow tore at him, trying to hold on, but his will was stronger. Bit by bit, the darkness shrank, retreating deeper, weaker. At last, silence, Alex collapsed, his body trembling. His veins still carried the mark, but the silver glow was brighter now, steady, unbroken. The whispers were gone. Lyra touched his shoulder gently. "You did it. You chose." The king's voice filled the hall. "He has faced the shadow and claimed himself. He will not be executed. He will not be banished. Instead, he will be watched." His eyes narrowed again. "For though he resisted today, the shadow never dies." "It waits," the crowd murmured, but none dared argue. Alex forced himself to stand. He looked at the king, his voice rough but firm. "Then let it wait. I'll be ready." For a moment, the king simply stared at him. Then he gave a small nod. "Perhaps humanity is not as weak as I believed." The hall erupted in whispers again, some filled with doubt, others with awe. That night, as Alex stood on the balcony of the mountain fortress, he looked at the stars. The predator was gone, but his battle was far from over. He was still marked. He was still hunted by the shadow inside him. Lyra stepped beside him, her silver hair catching the starlight. "You know this isn't the end." Alex gave a faint smile. "No, it's the beginning." Far beyond the stars, in the dark void where the shadow predators were born, other eyes opened. Red, endless, hungry, the war was only just beginning, and Alex, the boy who had chosen to remain human, was now part of it.